Speaking of Google, they are sending boatloads of cash. I love this article because he used the word boatloads. And that doesn't mean he's a fan of Lou Later. It just means he's got a great taste in language. Boatload is big, Willie Doo. You and I, we've been over it. We don't need to cover it again. However, this is a lesser known thing. I mean, I'm sure certain people in the audience are aware of this, but not everybody. Google sends tremendous cash to Apple to remain as the default search engine when a person cracks into Safari. You know, you launch Safari, you see Google. Well, that seems odd when you think about it. You're so used to it now, but it seems odd when you think about it. They're the #1 competitor. Ultimately, their OS is the competition to iOS, yet you launch into the search engine, you see a big Google logo even on iOS. Now, for the record, I don't see in my world, in my life, a valid competitor to Google. Google is like a human utility at this point. It would be hard to exist and survive and do a lot of the things that we do in the absence of Google. And it's not just the search engine. We use all the Gmail products and we use the Google Drive, and it's like, holy, the brand is such a utility, Google Maps, in so many places that you forget. You don't even see the logo anymore. You just think of it like turning on the tap. And so in the case of Apple, that utility or automatic thing is actually paid for. That automatic moment of launching Safari and Google is paid for. And it's paid for to the tune of possibly, maybe, this is not public numbers, $12 billion. Now, this particular article only cites this what came out in the UK, which was 1.5 billion. And it's because there's some kind of a monumental situation going on there where they're examining the business practices of Google and the fact that there might not be real competition for them in the search segment. And of course that would be the case if it was going to cost you billions of dollars to get onto the biggest OS, or the 2 biggest OSs, right? You're not going to become the search engine for people's choice on Android. Obviously, iOS might be the only other place you got a shot. But in that case, they're paying billions, and as presumably as an upstart or a competitor, you don't got the billions.
No.
So anyway, it's just a curious thing to sort of highlight for those that may be less aware that even these brands that appear to be competitive and are competitive have these strange inner workings that actually affect your experience. And I think a lot of people, whether you're a fan of Android or a fan of iOS, can pretty much admit Google's got it when it comes to search, and you wouldn't want to use an iPhone for the most part that defaulted to something else. And so that begs the question for me, what is the right dollar figure? Because I understand it's very powerful for Google to be on that mega iOS platform, but what do they do if Google says, I'm done with the cash, I'm sick of paying? What do they put? Bing? I don't know what they even put.
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo. Can you imagine that as the official brand on an iPhone when you launch Safari? That seems like an impossible future to imagine. Of course it could happen. It's not impossible, but it just seems hard to believe.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, the same could be said for some of these other Google applications that just are so commonplace now in the world in 2020. But anyway, you could check out the article if you want to see more specifics. And if you know of a true competitor search engine that you think offers exactly what Google offers, or even beyond, I want to see those suggestions down in the comments. I'm curious.